What's up, guys? This is former Springbok and Rugby World Cup winner Brian Havana. You're watching Gareth Mason on Walking Tall with G-Man.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we focus on the Rugby World Cup and the latest coming from World Rugby. Obviously, earlier today that 2 rugby matches have officially been cancelled. I mentioned one last night, which was England and France. A lot of you said I was clickbaiting, but it was actually true. And New Zealand versus Italy. That came as a big shock for me, but I didn't realise that it was being played around in those time. It's a Super Typhoon called Hagibis, and it's apparently the worst one of 2019. Therefore, the games have been cancelled due to safety precautions. A lot of talk about them being moved and rescheduled and all that jazz, but unfortunately, due to logistics of moving an event like this and filling another stadium is quite a bit of work in a short space of time. Therefore, these games have been cancelled. I know Italy are highly upset about this. Sergio Parisse has gone on and said if the All Blacks needed the points, this game would not have been cancelled. Obviously, the other game is also devastating that these get cancelled because, I mean, England and France, two great nations, would have battled out in what would have been a great contest to see who's going to be the first and second. Now, I do half understand the reasoning why they're not too faffed about rescheduling these games. New Zealand, Italy, I mean, come on, New Zealand would have won that one convincingly, so we would have still seen New Zealand on the top of the log. England, France, you know, those games can always go any way. But it wasn't affecting these two positions. It just would have affected who they pretty much could have played against. But it's both been called a draw. Both teams get 2 points each, according to World Rugby's statement that they released. So it's heartbreaking stuff. It's gut-wrenching, especially for the players that are playing their last games for their respective countries, can't sign out. For example, Italy. Sergio Parisse and a few others who are retiring now after the World Cup won't get to have the proper send-off that there would have been. And New Zealand and Italy, although we know it would have gone one way, it would have been a special contest to witness. We would have seen a lot of heart and passion and emotion from Italy, and I think they would have really shown up at the first half and given a few good old goes and runs for the money. But you know, at the end of the day, it's safety first, and that's what World Rugby have implemented. And they're going to follow the procedures the way they should. Obviously, you know, rugby we all want to watch this weekend, but your players need to be safe. The people of Japan need to be safe. And it's not only the game and stadium, it's obviously the traveling factor in and around Japan and all the various cities. I mean, a typhoon can cause a lot of chaos, and it can disrupt roads. It can, you know, really injure and if not kill people. So the best bet is to be safe inside and just let it be. I do, however, agree with Sergio on this one that World Rugby should have had a plan B. They should have had something in place, maybe for a game or two, or like a backup game for instances like this. Obviously, in the Cricket World Cup, as we saw, a lot of games were rained out. Therefore, they were cancelled. So those teams also faced the cut. But what gets me a bit bothered is I have no problem with this World Cup being in Japan. I really have loved watching the support and the atmosphere and everything coming out of Japan. But why do World Rugby implement and create this tournament, the biggest rugby tournament in history, one of the biggest sporting events? Why put it in a typhoon season time of Japan? I know everyone says winter, summer sports, all that jazz, but to me they should have maybe had it earlier in the year, in a season where typhoons don't occur, because now we're faced with this risk. And yes, the typhoon is easing out Sunday morning, so we could see Ireland take on Samoa and all that stuff. But you know, teams are really missing out, and this should have been discussed way beforehand. I mean, I did a video 2 months ago saying that the typhoons could threaten the opening stages of the World Cup. I mean, then and there, I mean, yes, they made the decision, okay, if a game gets cancelled, teams draw. But if they've already prepped that the typhoons were going to come, so they had these games and procedures. Why put the World Cup there? Because now teams are looking out, are missing out. So Ireland Samoa, looks like that's going to go ahead. So great stuff for Ireland. It's brilliant news for them, so they can continue their path, should beat Samoa, and then will qualify for the Rugby World Cup. Obviously, Australia and Georgia is going ahead as normal. Canada and Namibia, there was no mention of that being cancelled, as well as Tonga or USA. I think they're in the right areas of Japan, but Italy, New Zealand obviously is cancelled, but and France, England. But the one I'm most curious about is the Scotland-Japan game. That game has a lot on the line, and if that gets cancelled, it's going to be heartbreaking for Scotland, who worked so hard against Russia. And I didn't realise they really had such a close opportunity at this, and my apologies to all the Scottish fans for this, but they're sitting on a chance of being kicked out of the World Cup because of this. And World Rugby has said they're going to be consistent with this outcome, and so if Scotland, or if that game's cancelled, it will be a draw, and they will get their points, and Scotland will be therefore kicked out of the World Cup. Apparently, there was a mathematical slight chance that Italy could have won, but I mean, highly unlikely. But the fact is that if Scotland's game's cancelled, they're out of the Rugby World Cup. Hopes, dreams gone, and it's heartbreaking, man. You worked so hard to get to where you were. Yes, they lost to Ireland, but they've worked hard to gain the points in order to become a threat again, or and be contenders for the quarterfinals. And now, because of weather, they could see themselves missing out. So that's really tough and heartbreaking for them. But you know, World Rugby need to catch a wake up and figure these things out before they decide on where the World Cup's going to go, and how they want to play it out, in my personal opinion. But again, gutting stuff that we're going to miss great games. I wanted to stream both of those two, but I will try and get Ireland, Samoa out, and then definitely Scotland, Japan, if that's playing. If not, unfortunately, we miss out on that one. So yeah, again, thoughts and prayers and are with the people of Japan, all the rugby fans that are there, all the people that are there. Stay indoors, stay safe, take care of yourselves, because it's going to be the biggest typhoon of 2019, so please be careful out there, guys. Take it one step at a time. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Again, thoughts are with you all. Stay safe. Hit that subscribe button for more rugby content. We'll be covering quite a bit of it, so don't go anywhere. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.